Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. We're in the middle of the southwest monsoon season. The southwest monsoons have now covered all of India, and several parts of the country, including the national capital, have been seeing extremely heavy rainfalls. For a quick update and an outlook on what to expect, we're joined by GP Sharma, President for Meteorology and Climate Change at Skymet. Sir, thank you so much for taking time out to join us today.
Thank you.
So we'll start with what's happening currently. Several parts of the country have been seeing excessive rainfall. What's the outlook?
Yeah, it's an active phase of the monsoon, which keeps changing the locations also. They keep changing the intensity also. Earlier, we saw that it had battered some other parts of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Now it is very active. That's over the northern parts, precisely over states of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi region, and across the mountains. Okay, and basically North India. Okay, North India, northwestern parts. It's a one of the normal thing with the monsoon, which keep changing its pace and intensity. Okay, and in this case, it was a combination of two factors. We had a western disturbance also, and we had a circulation which was a remnant of earlier low pressure area in the Bay of Bengal, which traveled up to North Madhya Pradesh and adjoining Rajasthan region. The two working in tandem, they have given this widespread rainfall with heavy to very heavy, extremely heavy rather, at some of the places, breaking all earlier records also, whether it was Delhi also, Chandigarh, Ambala, a couple of places. They have rewritten the history and the records are being, since the time the records were being maintained, these are the highest rainfall. Yes.
All right. And so what's the outlook? Can we expect a normalization over the coming days, or is this pressure expected
Yes,
to
yes.
persist?
Yes. Very soon, very soon. You see, there is never a lull in the monsoon season. Once it sets in, some pocket or the other will get activated. Yes, shift in the location. So that is very, very normal also, and that's what will happen. Mountains will have a relief. Okay, I think the relief will start for Jammu Kashmir region today itself.
Okay.
Himachal will have one more day, today also activity, and then tomorrow onwards, I think it becomes better. Uttarakhand will have to wait for possibly another total 3 days or so. It will come under inclement weather conditions. As far as the plains are concerned, yes, you can expect improvement over parts of Punjab, Haryana. Delhi will also have mild activity as compared to the previous 2 days. Today also, you can expect some rain shower. One or shower will be very intense and heavy also. But that is total. For the past 2 days, Delhi experienced triple-digit rainfall, more than 100 millimeters on two successive days. It doesn't normally happen. Delhi doesn't see. Next 2 days, today and tomorrow also, showers are likely, but then the intensity will be less, as well as they'll be intermittent. They will not be continuous rains. Okay, so will be the case with the other parts also of Punjab, Haryana, and adjoining region. Most of the weather activity in the coming days, that's about next 3 days, that will remain confined to parts of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, North Madhya Pradesh, and West Madhya Pradesh, and also southwestern parts of Uttar Pradesh and adjoining to Uttarakhand. This is the pocket which is going to be very active in the next about 3 days. Yes.
Right. So just to quickly reaffirm, what we are seeing is not entirely out of normal and should not possibly be linked to longer term climate changes as such.
It's not linked with climate change. For linking anything with climate change, you need to carry out a study first. Okay, just off the hook, you can't say this is all climate change, because anything which happens, whether it is a heat or cold or whatever it is, we link it with the climate change. That is, climate change is a reality. It is happening. It will be there. It will bring in these high impact weather events frequently also. So, but then this is a monsoon activity. Yes, vigorous monsoon activity, but climate change has nothing to do with this. It is one of those events wherein a couple of systems have interacted together with each other also, and giving this widespread activity over northern parts. Yeah.
Got it. So at the beginning of the southwest monsoon season, we saw the monsoon set in a little bit later than usual. ever since that's happened, the monsoons have to quite an extent caught up. However, rainfall over the country as a whole is still a little below normal. So, on an aggregate, what's the outlook going forward? And Skymet, at the beginning of the season, had forecasted the southwest monsoons to be a little below normal for the season. So, I mean, I do want to understand an overall update on what's happening.
Okay, the monsoon has a yes delayed start, sluggish start, very weak also for the first fortnight of June, deficiency over 50% also, but gradually towards the last few days of June started covering up. Month of June ended with a deficiency of 10%, not very alarming. Okay, but then the month of July, the first 9-10 days, we have been seeing active monsoon conditions, so vigorous monsoon condition, except for a day or two in between. It again had gone a week, which is a part of oscillation of the monsoon. It does happen. Okay, now as far as the we are still in the early days of monsoon. Okay, the deficit which was there so far has been covered. The monsoon is it's a break-even point. Rather, it has gone a little surplus also at the moment, and it's going to be good for the next about 2-3 days before the normals again. The average rainfall daily, it may drop a little. It will just become normal or possibly below normal. As far as the total season is concerned, yes, Skymet has given a forecast of slightly below normal of long period average. We stick with that. It's too early to take a call also because of monsoon variation in the pace and intensity, and it's a spell that will happen. This is one spell. We can expect some more coming up after some time with a gap. Okay, this will be a very routine thing through the 4-month-old monsoon season. That's from June to September. Right. So forecast still remains here. We go with the slightly below normal rainfall, which we are given about 94% of LPA. If required, we give a course correction little later. Okay, that's it.
All right. And what about the spread of the monsoon? So, so far, along with a later onset of the monsoons, we've also seen unequitable distribution of the monsoon through the country. What's the outlook on that?
Yeah, that is a little sad part of the monsoon so far, though it is bringing some fury in many parts. But at the same time, the regions which matter most, they reel with the deficiency, and some of the pockets dealing with large deficiencies. We see large deficiency. We say when it's about 30% or more of the normal rainfall. We talk about the eastern parts, Gangetic, West Bengal region, Jharkhand, Bihar. These are the pocket. Even Orissa is a little deficit at the moment, but I'll be concerned more about the southern parts of peninsula, which includes your Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, interior parts of Karnataka also. Even the rainier state of Kerala also is a little deficit at the moment. And though the monsoon activity is there over the western and the northern parts, but the southern parts, they still remain a distant cousin as far as the monsoon activity is concerned. It is a matter of concern and some anxious moments for those pockets because nothing seems likely over those pockets. No significant recovery I see happening in the next about week, 10 days or so.
Okay.
Whatever the systems are following, that should go along once again the monsoon trough, giving rainfall over the northern parts, Indo-Gangetic Plain, and the western parts. Southern parts, which I counted, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, even parts of Maharashtra also, where there is a recovery, all right, but then Vidarbha, Marathwada, Madhya Maharashtra, they still remain deficit. Okay, that's it.
So, a lot of these areas that you just spoke about are also prominently agrarian. A large part of several cereals, pulses, fruits, and vegetables is grown in these parts of the country. So, from an agricultural perspective, what's the outlook? Is there any concern on that front in terms of sowing patterns?
Yeah, it's a concern. Okay, basically now these areas, as you said, this is a grain bowl. Okay, of our country, central parts of the country, entire Maharashtra, even some southern parts. Yes, northern parts have done okay with the recent spell, but then this remains a concern. And more of it because all these pockets, central parts of the country, be it Maharashtra, be it further south, they are the rain-fed areas, monsoon rain-fed areas. In case the monsoon rainfall is not equitable and it doesn't happen timely, obviously they suffer a lot. This changes the crop pattern also sometimes. The cycle of the pattern. People almost may be going in for a longer cycle crops, but in case the rains do not happen adequately, sufficiently, they may think of in terms of changing the crop cycle or the crops which need a little less water and has a shorter cycle. All these are implications of the intricacies of the monsoon, which we are witnessing at the moment. Yes.
All right. So before I conclude, so this year we're expected to see some impact of the El Nino as well. How that is balanced out by the Indian Ocean dipole remains to be seen. But what's the outlook on that so far? How is the current situation expected to tie in? And when is the impact of El Nino likely to be visible?
El Nino is already growing. It is quite significant, and possibly it will peak. It's very slow phenomena. Not the abrupt changes are not there.
Okay.
It will peak during possibly later half of the monsoon and towards the fall of the year. But now also, Pacific Ocean is fairly warm. El Nino conditions are there. El Nino is there now also. As far as you said, IOD, no, they are standalone systems, and IOD also is negative. It is not coming to support the monsoon rains at the moment. But then what happens is monsoon is a huge planetary scale system. It has enormous energy. We call it as energy. Dynamics of monsoons are phenomenal. Okay, even if something doesn't support it for some couple of days or week or so, it can pull on its own. That's what is happening. Monsoon is performing on its own energy at the moment. Neither El Nino is in favor at the moment, nor is the IOD. Okay, in the absence of all these two, they are favorable. They are not favorable, I will say. IOD negative and El Nino, Pacific Ocean is rather warm. Both are not in consonance with the monsoon conditions as such. But then monsoon is running on its own steam at the moment, and possibly it will last a few days. We still fear that El Nino is going to impact, and so will be the IOD. If it becomes strongly positive, it does come to the rescue. But at the moment, it is the latest value is minus 0.3 as of today. Okay, so it is not showing any signs so far. Last 4 weeks consistently, IOD has been negative, though below the threshold of 0.4 degree, but then consistently it is negative, and it will take some time to become positive. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for an extremely informative session. Stay tuned to BQ Prime for continuing updates on the Southwest monsoons and its impact on the Indian economy.